when did you, so, obviously you started with primarily doing video for weddings and stuff. When did you kind of switch to doing photography?
Yeah.
Like just photos and stuff. Is that something you kind of always did with it? Or is that, I know those are kind of
Yeah.
two separate, I mean,
Yeah.
they're in the same ballpark, but kind of two different sports, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you break it down, they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
But they are different in many ways. And it's really, I always say it's more in the editing work. Personally, I think like editing photos, in my opinion, is a little bit easier, and it's easier to teach people to edit. Than video, when there's like audio, you got to work in the music. There's more layers to it. Not saying that editing photos is easy, but they are coming out with AI that can help with photo
That's
editing.
something I wanted to get
There's not a
into.
whole lot with video yet, so
No,
um,
but I'm sure it's coming.
it's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the switch was when I started doing Dealman, after a year of shooting just real estate videos, I had a huge demand for photography, because everybody just wanted to hire one person that could do both. So I started messing around with real estate photography, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. Cause
Um,
you do a great job.
yeah,
How do you make the houses look so big?
yeah, a wide angle lens.
Yeah, wide angle lens, baby.
Yeah. But
I always say real estate photographers are like magicians. That's like my little line that I always say whenever I'm showing houses. Cause like,
Never trust the photograph.
yeah, cause people get in houses and like, oh, it looks,
Looks great.
it doesn't feel as big as it looked in the photo.
yeah,
Which
and
is,
and it's not just the lens,
Sure.
like it's obviously the editing. And I think like I say, what's a good photographer versus a great photographer? A good photographer, yeah, they know how to like evenly edit the lighting, make it look nice and stuff. But a great photographer takes the time to move stuff. Like when I shoot a house, I see a trash can or
yes.
a plunger in the damn bathroom, I move it.
Dude, that's one of the things that
Yeah.
you guys do that like it's huge to me. Like Ben, who shoots a lot of my
Yeah.
house, your guy Ben, like he knows like if there's a trash can or if there's I'm always in there just making sure. But he's always good at making sure he like knows all my little pet peeves at this point.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
And obviously you know them too because you've shot a ton of them too. But as we know, you're a busy guy. You can't shoot every single house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ben's great. I've gotten to know him pretty well over the years.
Yeah. Even with that, my employees have gone so far to move an adult diaper off a bed
Whoa,
that was used. It was
gross.
gross. I was like, why did you move it? I would never make you move that.
Yeah,
They're like, well, you always move stuff. I'm like, no, you don't have to move it.
Not that. Not a shitty diaper.
Well,
Yeah.
you told us about the coolest ones, and we've heard some horror stories from Zach touring houses. What's the weirdest thing you've come across?
I mean, I've done a lot of like, it seems like meth houses, honestly.
Really?
Like, I've done a house.
Ben's shot one for me.
Yeah.
Me and Ben were like, all right, dude, let's get out of here.
We actually have I have a real estate client, and he gets like the wildest houses, and they're all over Missouri. Like we go to Jefferson City, Columbia, Kansas City, and he pays well, and like he pays us to travel. He understands that it's a lot, and there's not really real estate photographers in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. So we go out there, and sometimes we'll shoot these houses though, and they'll have like part of the roof is gone and stuff. But I think he like really takes them and like he flips the houses and stuff.
Sure.
He's always having us go over.
advertising it to people that want to flip it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's I've had to shoot some of those before and I'm just like like I'm like make it look as good as you can.
Yeah.
Like, try to not get that big old stain on the wall over there.
avoid the blood stain.
Let's avoid the blood stains and the trash and the whatever else
The
is
body outline. We're gonna cover that up
the
with
dirty
a rug.
needles and the
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, she shot some messed up. Well, now I'm sure you've been to a ton of weddings at this point.
Mhm.
Was there like one that kind of sticks out as far actually what's the craziest wedding, like most extravagant wedding you think you've ever been to?
Oh, that's tough. I've definitely done like a couple $100,000 weddings. I mean, I did one in Hawaii, which was awesome.
They flew you out there?
Yeah,
That's
flew me
awesome.
out, stayed out there. So that was great.
Maybe we picked the wrong profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to the Key West to shoot another wedding this in March.
Sweet.
Very
So
cool.
and they're paying for my travel and all that.
Dude,
so
that's incredible.
yeah, so I travel a little bit. I've done one in California, Minnesota, Mexico, which was a great one. So and those like the Mexico one wasn't like crazy expensive or anything, but it's fun to travel.
Sure.
Now,
so
are these
little vacation for you too,
yeah.
I mean, you're working,
Well,
but
that's people think that, and it's not a
not.
vacation. because like
Yeah, you're
also
working. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
it's just like well, it's so much you have to do, and
When
like
you're
you don't.
bringing
Well,
everything
I couldn't
there.
imagine trying to get all your stuff across the border and down.
Going to Mexico is terrifying
Oh man.
because
Yeah,
I'm like,
packing all your stuff, and
yeah,
it's obviously very fragile, and it's expensive, and it's
yeah,
like, man,
And you're
something getting knocked around on the plane.
right, and you're traveling through all this stuff and carrying the stuff around. Now just putting a target on your back too.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Mexico's probably the only one I'm like worried of like going through because I only know exactly the rules. Maybe I shouldn't say this here, but like filming weddings there. But I'm like, well, they're Americans. They're paying to get their wedding out there,
Sure.
And the resorts charge like fees and stuff to bring your own vendors.
Mm.
Now, are you getting hooked up with these through like wedding planners, or are these things that like people come to you and find you and like, no, we want you to come to our weddings?
Yeah. So honestly, most of our like 95% of our weddings is just word of mouth.
Okay.
And it's usually a past couple we shot, you did someone's friend's wedding. Um, of what a lot of wedding photographers recommend us because they know we don't do wedding photography and they know we work well with people. It's amazing how many wedding videographers don't work well with photographers. I'm
Hmm.
like,
Really?
it's really not that hard. Just be respectful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like I train my people, and I think because I take the time to actually literally train our videographers, like look at their camera, look at the lens they're using. If they're on a 70-200, something really tight, they're shooting super close, so you can get closer to the couple. You look at the lens. If they're on like a 24 or something, they're shooting wide. So then you need to step back, give them more room. And I usually let the photographers like do their job. And then I'll run in like, hey, I'm gonna just do a quick shot. And I'm ready to go. Like it takes me 10 seconds. I get my shot. And like if you see my work, it's really good.
Yeah.
And so not to brag, but
No, it's
Well, I
very
mean,
good.
you must be if you got people
Yeah.
flying you all over the country. Well, shit, all over
over
the
the
world
yeah.
to shoot their weddings. That's incredible.
Yeah. So yeah. And I think it's just we'll work well with people. I always, my uncle always said, you always want to give people more than what they paid for.
Mm.
So I always like try to like when I do a wedding, I charge a reasonable price and I'm giving them way more than what other people charge or stuff. But so
Oh,
yeah,
I totally agree. I mean, as far as like what you charge for real estate photography, like it's
Yeah.
so reasonable. And like people have asked me that before, like, hey, what does your guy charge? And I always, say roughly, it depends on the size of the house, yada, yada, yada. But
yeah,
it's usually between this and this. And, people are always shocked to find that out. And like, oh, it's it's very reasonable. And, yeah, that's amazing.
you know what's wild? Last week I had a real estate agent call me and I told him our prices. He's like he was like drawn out and his like response to that. I'm like, oh, does he think I'm really expensive? I'm like, we're on the standard of what the market charges
Oh,
in St.
100%.
Louis. And he's like, how do you survive with such cheap prices? I was like, hey, thanks for actually
Yeah.
calling that
Mhm.
out. It is like, I mean, real estate, I think a lot of people get into real estate thinking it's like, super profitable. It's not crazy profitable. But you have to do a lot of work. And that's like, luckily, we've expanded so much that we do a lot of listings a week. So we do make a good profit.
Plus
if
the
I was-
turnaround time.
Yeah,
'Cause
plus
they
the
want
turnaround.
you need those quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the COVID switched in the way the market changed kind of helped you out. I know it did with me.
Yeah.
Like before, I get a call from a client. I need to get a pre-approval done that day.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, we can actually take the time and work that pre-approval and like really coach and consult with buyers now and get them prepared because the house isn't hitting the market until Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I guess that might help you as well. Go out Monday, get it to them by Friday.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all of our photos are turned around in 24 hours
Okay.
and video. And we have some clients that need it same day. And like, we're happy to do that. We just charge a little extra fee. And like, we try not to shoot weekends because, we try to keep weekends off of the family
Oh, it's smart.
and weddings.
Except for weddings.
Right.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say weddings, you're probably,
That's your bread and butter right there.
Yeah.
I would say, what portion of your business is weddings, would you say? Like it's gotta be a huge portion of it, right?
It's probably 50%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Less than I thought.
yeah. So it's definitely our biggest portion. But we actually do a lot of corporate commercial work, content video for people. So that's it. And then real estate's probably 20%.
Okay.
And that's like probably based off revenue. If you went to our workload at the office, you'd be like, well, it's probably like 50% real estate.
Really?
And like,
'Cause it takes so much time.
yeah. And it's like 40% weddings. And then you would think like the rest is just the corporate videos. But yeah.
So when you say corporate videos, what do you mean by that? Commercials or like
Yeah, like training videos. Like I did a video for Best Buy once,
Okay.
and it was like one of the videos on the display for Samsung.
Oh, okay.
I shot like their new laptop that came out one time. So stuff like that. Stuff that's like played in lobbies, business videos for like, come and meet this company and like learn about us and stuff. Recruitment videos. I did a recruitment video for Franklin County Sheriff's Office,
Cool.
which was awesome. One of my favorite shoots
Really? Why is that?
because they had me work with a SWAT team and
Oh,
we got to
cool.
do like a raid on a motel and they had the
No.
dogs and stuff.
So you're just like following these guys around with the camera?
Yeah, and they actually blew open the door.
Oh,
And they're like,
cool.
"Yeah, we're gonna do explosives." The weirdest thing was they actually patted us down and like searched us.
Just to make sure you guys weren't.
Well, they said they wanted to make sure there's nothing like that could cause it to trigger the device or something. So they could like see everything. I was thrown off by that. I'm like, I've never been patted down in my life.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
don't
I'd
get in
like to
trouble.
do that again.
Yeah. So that was a bonus. No.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And honestly, like, I don't know, like I know cops are very, like all those people are super nice and stuff. And I don't know much about like the political stuff when it comes with like the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, but all the guys there were super nice and then they have a hard job. So,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, as a, especially as guys, we love the toys and stuff, like seeing an armored vehicle and stuff.
Yeah,
is
and all the
cool,
guns and all the cool stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like an armored Hummer and stuff. I'm like, this is cool.
That's pretty badass.
That was a fun shoot. So
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn. That's awesome. So go
Cool.
ahead. No,
I was
you
gonna say, do any like the artsy side of things where like nature or still photos like that you're submitting for
Yeah.
like stuff like that? Do you do things like that?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to like my goal was to take like part of a revenue and like make movies.
Mhm.
Because I still have that like I am a
Drive.
filmmaker. And I still want to make some movies. I've gotten so busy with work that I have less time, especially during COVID. Once COVID happened, I really stopped doing so much like film stuff and like passion projects, I should say. It's not as much now. But I do so I get to travel a lot with my wife. So I make some really cool travel videos.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and she works for Merritt's travel
Oh,
global
Okay.
events.
That helps.
Yeah. So she's like she does incentive like travel incentive plans and stuff for clients. So a lot of times she has to go out and like we just went to Italy. So I get to go with her and like film everything. So
Very
that's
so cool.
I got the problem is though I never have time to edit the video.
Now you can expense it. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you know what? This is a write off.
Yeah. So and then we're going to Greece in August.
Damn.
Oh,
So have you
oh
been
my
there before?
I was there. I've been there when I was 7.
Okay.
And actually family there. So I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
cool.
Facebook friends with them. So I'm actually gonna go meet them. I'm like, I don't speak Greek though.
Okay.
But I know one of my cousins and his name's Taiki.
Taiki.
Very Greek name.
Yeah.
He speaks English. So we're gonna go meet up with him and stuff. I'm like, this is cool. Like
which island?
so they're in Athens.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So
Just the history over there is Greece has always been a place that I've wanted to get to, just to
yeah.
do the island hopping. Santorini, Mykonos, Athens. Like,
Yeah.
just looks so beautiful over there.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was awesome when I was 7, but I was 7.
Yeah, you're 7.
Now you can like really appreciate
Yes.
it.
At the time, I was just like, look at these. It's hot.
Right, yeah.
I remember like I didn't want to eat anything because I only ate like mac and cheese on that trip.
Really?
Yeah.
And now like I love all foods.
Right.
Yeah. Give me that lamb.
Yes.
I want a euro.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I used to be so picky with food when I was a kid. Or not like super picky. I mean, but compared to like what I will eat now, which is just about anything. Like when I was a kid, I just was not
I wish I was a picky eater
really.
Yeah.
Why?
because I eat everything. Everything is good.
Yeah. Now I wish I was. Yeah. As a kid now.
Yeah, yeah, but I just hate being that like guy that like when somebody has something and you like, oh, I don't like this on it.
Oh no. I mean, no. I wish I had that problem. I'm just like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I'll pass on that one. But